Hello everyone, today I have a little EDC update for y'all, just showing y'all what knives I've been carrying, what I've just been carrying overall, where the collection's at, that sort of stuff. So let's jump right in real quick. First, here's my wallet. This is a really nice wallet that I've been really enjoying. I was in dire need of a new one, and this Christmas my girlfriend got me it. It's got my initials on it. It's perfect size, has enough room to carry all my stuff. It's a good wallet. Boring keys. It's got a little Mandalorian thing that my brother got me for Christmas. I think is really cool, and I really like the keys that scratch it up. I think that it looks even more awesome. Underneath it says, "He's no good to me dead." And you know, both of these emblems, this is the Mandalorian symbol, but you know, both of them is on Boba Fett. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. You'll still see a little bit more of that as the review goes on. Here's an Olamic tool from a Wayfarer that I owned like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And I forgot to ship this with the knife. I feel really bad about that. So, whoops. And then, of course, I'm from Houston, and I've been watching the Astros since I was 5. So, I am extremely excited that they won the World Series. And I'm going to be showing that off and talking about it for a while. So, there's the keys. Let's get a little bit more into the interesting stuff. Here's a watch that I've been carrying recently. This is a Nixon Century, and it's actually the Millennium Falcon model. So this is, like I said, I'm a Star Wars nerd. This is Star Wars themed, and it's very discreetly Star Wars themed. That's what I like about it. It's not gimmicky or anything. You know, you just look at that, and it's like you're looking at the Millennium Falcon in hyperspace. And so if you didn't watch Star Wars, you wouldn't know that that's what you were looking at. But, you know, I really enjoy this watch. I'm not a huge watch guy, so I don't feel a need to get any more. This actually replaced my smartwatch that I've been carrying for a year and a half, which I was actually able to get the Man X2 from. But I mean, I really enjoyed this watch. I got this one for Christmas too, and I really like it. I don't see the need for another one. So that's been the watch I've been carrying or wearing every day. How about a pen? I've gone through several EDC pens, and I plan on doing more. I plan on doing a review on this guy also. This is a Lamy All-Star. But I've gone through so many EDC pens, it's actually kind of sad. More recently, it's been the Hinderer Investigator pen, the Tactile Turn Gist, and then I actually just recently lost, after owning it for like 5 days, I have no idea how it happened, the Max Madco tie bolt or something like that. It was a really sick pen, or Max Madco, it was his bolt action pen, and I really missed that one, so that's really sad. But this All-Star is a fountain pen. It's one that I've been using a lot. I need one for school a ton, and for work, both of those I need a pen, so I've been trying to rock a pen more. I plan on getting the tie scribe bolt or whatever it's called soon. That one's the next on my list, but you'll see a review on this guy soon. It writes really well. It's an overall positive review. The only thing about it that I don't like is the clip. It has a tendency to kind of start sticking out, and it's huge, and it gets caught on things. So, but you'll see more of that in the review if you're pen guys. I plan on getting a little bit more into that because I use pens every day. I actually use pens more than I use knives. So I like nice stuff. Let's have a nice pen. This guy, I will say, I do not carry every day. I carry him often, maybe 3 or 4 days out of the week. And right now, this is just the Pioneer X. I recently resharpened this. This is kind of my food knife. It's still pretty sharp. This is pretty much my food knife. Whenever I go to a place that they give me a knife that's just dull, then I'll pop this guy out, and it just, you know, it's a joy to use. And you can see it's got kind of more of a utility edge than my regular polished edge. But this is probably my favorite Swiss Army knife, just because it's got all the normal stuff, but then it's also got the, oops, tried grabbing it from the wrong end. Did I? No, I didn't. I just missed it. The scissors. So I've owned this guy for probably over a year now. Whenever the Pioneer X came out, I grabbed this guy. So let's get into the stuff that you've really been waiting for. These are the knives that I've been carrying. I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, these are all the knives that I own currently. So I'm just going to start from right to left. Here's the Spyderco Swish Buoy. This guy is a cornerstone of my collection. I am not getting rid of him for several reasons. One, I owned one before about 2 years ago, and and I seriously regretted selling it. That was probably one of the biggest mistakes or knife sales that I regretted. So I picked up another one, and I've been using it and loving it ever since. I think it was Spyderco's favorite knife until they discontinued it, which is the second reason I'm keeping it, holding on to it, because I know that if I end up selling it, I'll never be able to get another one. So that would just make me really sad. So I mean, the CTS XHP steel is awesome. I've owned this knife for about a year, and it is still really sharp, and I have used it a ton. It might be due for a resharpening, but I mean, you can still see it still popping hairs. Man, it's been a while since I've done that. After a year of just stropping it, and I mean, I've cut a lot of stuff with this knife, and it's brought me a lot of joy. So you can see my full review on this guy. Here is a more recent acquisition. This is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 limited edition in M390. So I love the Paramilitary 2, but I have just not been able to keep one. And I finally realized that that's probably because it wasn't special enough to me. As you can kind of tell, I like special knives that are either expensive and work really well. I mean, function is obviously first, but there are a lot of knives out there that function really well. So I kind of want some that are a little bit exclusive, and so I just got this Sprint Run. Unfortunately, I did not get it whenever it dropped. I had to pay like $190 for it, which is still a good price. I love the red, and this is a highly desired Paramilitary 2. This one is extremely sharp. Oh my gosh, this thing cuts through foam paper like crazy. But this one I think is going to stay in the collection because I love the Paramilitary 2, and I finally have a configuration that I really, really like, and it is unique and special to me. Next is actually my second newest acquisition. This is the Blade HQ Spyderco Manix. Oh, sorry guys, didn't know the blade was dirty. I don't remember what that's from. I cleaned it the other day, so I don't know. I forgot what I cut from now and then. Anyway, this is a knife that I'm going to be using in the summer for work, you know, doing kind of more construction / demolition contracting work. And this knife with the M4 steel, you know, just the great ergonomics and the oversized thumb hole for easy glove deployment, just felt like a good knife for that. And plus, it's just a great EDC. I mean, I like the natural G10. Like the M4 blade. I was actually able to get this guy pretty much for $150. So I'm going to tell you a quick story real quick. I had my smartwatch. I bought it for like $180. I was listing it up for trade for $120, and a guy had a Rubicon that I actually did a video on. You'll see it's not here. I already carried it, reviewed it, passed it along because it just wasn't really my style. Anyway, I got a Rubicon out of a Samsung Gear S1 or Gear S2 watch. And they're on the 3rd generation, and I had a 2nd generation watch, and I was able to trade it for a Rubicon. I mean, it had some marks on the blade, and it was totally off-centered to where whenever you close the blade, it would rub against the handle. But I was able to fix it up. It had a great action. I put my edge on it, and then whenever I wanted to trade it, a guy offered me a Manix 2 with this Manix 2 with $50, and I was like, yes. So here we are. So I was able to turn that watch into $150 or to this knife plus $50. So I think that was a really good deal. Anyway, I really like this knife. I love Manix. I've owned 2 other ones. I owned a lightweight, wasn't a huge fan of that one, and then I owned a S110, and that one I sold to fund some grill at some point, and I never got another one. But again, this is a special edition one that I probably will not sell. I don't see myself selling it in the future, but I mean, it's always possible. So there's the Manix 2 that I've been carrying. This guy, past month or so, I had a large Sebenza 21, and I just realized that I really prefer the small Insingo, just because in an office setting, which is where I'm at a lot of time, or a school setting, it's really nice to have that bottom tip in a discreet knife, or that low tip. So this is great. This is like the perfect EDC knife. This is just perfect for all the tasks that I want, and I always love carrying it. And whenever I need to cut a lot and I find out this is in my pocket, I'm like, awesome, this is pretty much what I want. So I just like that it's small, it's discreet, It's got a great functional blade shape on it, and it's a Sebenza. So a Sebenza has been in my collection pretty much from about after the first year. So I just recently have been into knives for 3 years. So for the past 2 years of my knife collection hobby, or maybe 2.5 years, a Sebenza has been in it. It's for a reason. It's just a great knife overall. I think everyone needs to own a Sebenza at some point. Next is another kind of prodigal knife. This is the Strider SNG with the flame titanium, which is just my favorite stonewash blade. I mean, guys, it's a Strider. I had another one in this exact configuration. Actually, I think it had a desert tan instead of OD handle, and I prefer the OD handle. But OD green is just awesome. But anyway, I was able to get another one. This one hasn't left my collection. It did have lock rock at one point, but then once I took it apart and cleaned it, it doesn't have it anymore. You can hear it's rock solid. Just, you know, great action for, I know some SNGs are sketchy out there. It's got good lock geometry. This is just another knife that's going to be a good contracting knife. I've beat the crap out of this knife. I haven't sharpened it since I got it, or I sharpened it after I got it, but ever since then I haven't. Still amazingly sharp. This is another one that I just like whenever I am carrying it. This is like the most versatile knife also. This is a good tactical knife. It gives you a good amount of reach, but you can choke up and use it for fine EDC tasks. Whoops. It's got nice reinforced edge, but it's also, this is at 15 degrees per side, so it also will slice rather nicely. It's a little wedgy, not too bad though. Just a great knife. I don't see this going anywhere either, because with this knife, with the Swish Buoy, and actually with the Norseman also, I have gone through stages where I haven't owned it and I have seriously missed it. And actually the Sebenza for about like a week, and then I realized that I made a mistake and I bought it again. So now here is the newest acquisition, and probably one of my favorite all-time blades. I'm going to be picking up another one of these guys in olive drab. Oh, that was a bad deployment. I apologize. One sec. There we go. This is the Microtech SOCOM Elite. I actually just earlier tonight, or whenever I end up posting my collection update, I did a first impressions video on this. I will do a full review later once I, you know, have more time with it and once I have the clip point blade. But oh my gosh, it's just an excellent knife. It's big, but I use it for EDC too. It just feels great. It's just, this is just functionality with second type of cool, and it's just a lot of second type of cool. It's got a lot of, it's not necessarily pocket jewelry, but it's just got that sick tacticalness about it that I just, oh man, I just love this knife so much. I'm planning on keeping this one also whenever I get my clip point blade. I don't know how exactly, if that will work out, or if once I get the clip point blade this one will move along. I don't know. I'm actually kind of liking the Tanto blade on this one. I think I would prefer the clip point more, but I definitely don't hate the Tanto on this one. And so I don't know, I plan on keeping it. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, this is the knife that's probably gonna be in my pocket for like the next week or so. Here's one that the longer I've owned it, I just keep loving it more. This is my Southern Mini Tolk. Eat your heart out, guys. This is very hard to get right now. You have to contact Brad and make sure you get in one of the small batches, and I think the first batch wasn't a ton of people, and now he's doing an even smaller batch because it took him a long time to get the first batch. So I was able to customize this myself. Chose the B-Blast finish with the copper or brass, one of those two, I forget which one I chose, backspacer and pivot ring. Wanted the CPM 20CV blade on it with the two-tone satin, and I wanted the bog oak inlays. And okay guys, the action on this is just amazing. And actually I took it apart and cleaned it again, and I might refilm my review on this because I mentioned in the review several times that it wasn't the smoothest knife, but once I cleaned it again, geez, this thing is like just butter. This is one of my favorite knives right here. It's just beautiful. It's an amazing slicer. It's ground crazy thin. It's great for office work. It's great for just civilian carry with say civilian carry like I'm a cop. No, it's just great for, you know, cutting things in the middle of a crowd. Since it's got that wood seems to calm people, and it's kind of on the smaller side. I just love this knife so much. And I will not get rid of this one. I will not. I thought about it for like 5 seconds trying to get a Rask out of this, but I'm like, nah, I could not get rid of this. I would hate myself forever. So, there you go. And finally, I don't know if I'm going to call this the pinnacle of my collection, because I really love this guy and the SOCOM, but this is definitely one of my absolute favorite knives as well, if not my absolute favorite knife. This is the Grimsmo Norseman, guys. I think I first owned my first Norseman around a year ago. It was a completely blue one. I forgot what number it was, but I did a review on it. I'm going to re-review it because I'm kind of disappointed in how that review turned out, and there's a lot more I want to add. But this is the 505 Norseman, and I've owned 3 different Norsemans, this being the third, of course. But I've owned one that was blue, I owned one that was kind of gray with like purple hints, and that one was really cool too. But this is the one that ended up sticking around. I just love the two-tone on it. I love the purple. It's just a beautiful knife. And there was a season where instead of, I got a bodega out of the Norseman, and then I ended up having a bodega in a 95T as my 2 high-end, really expensive blades. And I just couldn't stand being without a Norseman, so I sold the 95T and got a Norseman out of it. And then I found this Norseman, and I traded that Norseman for this Norseman. So that's a lot of Norsemans that I just said in that sentence. You can check my Instagram account, by the way. It's JDub Knives, and you can see kind of, you can scroll through, and you'll definitely see like kind of the progression of my collection and how this guy came about. But I mean, this is just perfect, just so perfect. I can't wait to re-review it because there's so much good about this knife that I want to talk about. So much excellent, so much just done perfectly. So that's the Norseman. Now I'm going to be going to a blade show, Spirit of the Blade, and from this point it's going to be about a week. And I'm not going to have too much money to spend. I don't know if I'm going to get anything. Apologize for that, guys. Microtech Ultratech has kind of been calling my name recently, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. I also have been looking at the Booze Blade Smoke. I think that's what it's called. Not really the Mini Arrow. The Mini Arrow isn't really my style, but the Smoke I think I really like. So I might be snagging that guy. I don't know. We'll see. And then, of course, I'm getting an OD clip. At that point, after that, I have no idea where the knife collection will go. I might chill for a little bit. Who knows? I might just get the OD SOCOM and call it done for a while. I'm really happy with where my collection is right now. I think I got a nice variety, and I also need to start saving up for some other stuff. So anyway, if anything serious changes in my EDC rotation, I'll try to do a video about it. But this is where it's at right now. And continue to watch the channel. I'm probably going to be doing a review on this guy in the Paramilitary 2 eventually. I'm re-reviewing this. I might re-review that. I'm going to do a full review on this guy. I might review this guy down the line, but I also plan on releasing my Rubicon video soon. I'm going to try to keep the channel alive, try to continue to put out content. At the very least, I'll maybe just pick up a blade and review it, and then trade it for another blade I want to review, or sell it for another blade that I want to review, and try to continue that cycle. We'll see how that goes, if that'll actually be able to happen. Maybe I'll start that at the Spirit of the Blade. So now I'm just rambling, guys. I hope you enjoyed kind of seeing what I carried. I'm very minimalist. I don't carry multi-tools or pry bars, or I don't even carry fidget spinners anymore. Gosh, I loved fidget spinners, but then once they hit the middle schools, once they became super mainstream and everyone had them, and I look like a goofball. I mean, I already probably did look like a goofball before, but you know, I didn't want to be associated with the people that fidget spinners became associated with. So that probably shouldn't have got to me, but it did, and I'm really sad that that happened because fidget spinners were cool, but I kind of just lost my love for them because of that. So anyway, all that to say, this is kind of my minimalistic carry. Most days I'll just kind of have, you know, something like this. Oh, I forgot something also important. Oh, I forgot something else, actually. Field notes. I'm just going to set these guys over here. Great, probably scratched up my watch face. Whatever, it's bound to happen someday. I've been carrying field notes also, just with school going on, job, working out. There's a lot of times where I just need to write something down or else I'll forget it. So that's where the field notes have been taking place. I'll just put it in the back pocket with my wallet. So a lot of times, you know, a carry system then will kind of look like, just look like that with the keys in the wallet. So on that note, I'll catch you on the next video. I hope y'all keep watching. I plan on putting more content out. Y'all have a good one.